staff, we really don't sleep because we're just scared. Like the whole night. The worst call I could ever get as a principal, as a parent, is someone had an accident, passed away, hurt someone else. So that's why we really take it serious, and we try to do the after prom and do a lot of things like that for you guys. So please stay focused, be careful that night, and do the right thing.
Well, good morning. My name is Chief Deputy Dickinson. I work for the Perry County, Indiana Sheriff's Office. Today, we're going to be looking at a situation where students made some decisions. You are at the age now where you're able to make some decisions without mom and dad being present, without teachers or principals being present. And some decisions that we make have permanent and lasting effects. Prom is a special time, and we want you to have a great time. And we're going to talk about some things after we get through how we would handle a automobile crash like this that will give you some strategies to stay safe during your prom season. There are three different collisions that happen when we witness a car crash. The first collision happens when a vehicle strikes another object, like a tree, a guardrail, or another vehicle. The second collision that happens is our bodies striking an object, be it a windshield, a steering wheel, an airbag, or a seat belt. The third collision that happens in a crash is then our organs inside of our body coming into contact with our skeletal system. We're going to see today, in just a few moments, all three.
Attention all Perry County law enforcement, all Perry County law enforcement, EMS, first responders and rescue, EMS, first responders and rescue, along with Tell City Fire Department. Request your signal in the area of 15th and Fulton Street, Tell City, 50th and Fulton Street, Tell City. Have reported a motor vehicle accident with injuries and entrapment. Motor vehicle accident with injuries and entrapment, two vehicles, multiple subjects involved, multiple patients. Authority, Tell City Dispatch, midtime 9:59.
As our dispatch center receives 911 calls reporting this accident, they're paging out all of the professionals that we need to come to this scene to work it. Our goal is to preserve life and property. So what has been dispatched to this scene is our first responders, our ambulance, our fire departments, and law enforcement. Each have a significant role in a crash of this nature. There is significant mechanism of injury. How do we know? I think it's pretty obvious. And for those that are on this side of the vehicle, you may want to move around so that you can see the impact that's taken place if you can't see. For loved ones and the 911 callers and the witnesses, it's going to feel like an eternity before the professionals get here. Law enforcement is typically the first on scene at a lot of these calls. And they're going to do a scene size up as soon as they arrive. They're going to try to preserve the scene as best as they can. Anything that is a part of the debris field from where these two vehicles collided can be the answer on the reconstruction phase. So they're going to try to first check to see what kind of scene size up that's here so that they can refer communication back to EMS. Are we going to need an aircraft? Do we need multiple ambulances? Are Perry County resources enough? These are all questions that they should be asking themselves and then asking for more help if they need it. First responders are arriving on scene. These folks are members of the Perry County Rescue Squad. Some of them are members of local fire departments, and they're going to come and begin to render aid as well. Vehicle has 2 occupants outside of the driver. The driver's already left the scene. They took him into custody. He's sitting down on the other side of this white vehicle. There are still 2 passengers. One that's been ejected out the front, and then we have also a passenger in the rear. The white SUV has 3 occupants. All have injuries. What makes this particular crash problematic? Is the white SUV is going to have some extrication work done to it. They're going to have to peel the roof of this thing off so that they can get to some of the passengers. The Perry County Rescue Squad's here, and we need them to be able to provide us with the tools and the personnel needed to be able to extract the occupants of the white SUV. As the EMS arrives, they can try to do some treatment from the state in which they're in, but it's going to require extrication to be able to get them removed from the vehicle so that they can do a full head-to-toe assessment and treatment. When we have a significant crash like this, there is a chance that one of the vehicles could catch on fire. So we will have fire department members standing by just in case. When we begin the extrication process, there's always a chance that the vehicles could catch on fire as well. So that's the reason why they're here. It's unfortunate that the front seat passenger of the red vehicle had gone through the windshield. Couple that with the fact that they can't get the passenger side door open. Now they've got to wait for the extrication equipment to pop the door to be able to remove him safely.
Place your right foot directly in front of it. Second, you're going to toe. Keep your arms down at the side. Hold that position. I'm going to explain the step and I'll tell you where you start, okay? When I tell you to start, you can take 9 heel-to-toe steps down this line and then you're going to turn.
All right, head count.
It's going to look like this. 1.
We're observing Officer Hauser giving instructions to the driver of the red vehicle. He's doing standardized field sobriety tests. he has suspicion that the driver is under the influence of drugs and or alcohol. So these standardized tests that we do give us clues on whether or not the driver's intoxicated. The front seat passenger has no pulse, so they are going to begin CPR. The rear seat passenger of the red Pontiac, they're unable to get towards him to him, so they're going to have to, again, extricate further inside of the vehicle to be able to get that patient out safely. So Officer Hauser is a drug recognition expert. And he is taking the driver into custody at this time because he has probable cause to believe that he's operated a motor vehicle while intoxicated.
That's my son! That's my son! Oh, that's my son! That's my son! That's my son!
The ejected front seat passenger from the red motor vehicle has died. Life-saving efforts were, you've seen for yourself, were attempted. But in some crashes, there's not much we can do. And that's the reality. Due to the fact that there's been a fatality involved in this crash, the coroner's office will be called to the scene. Our Perry County coroner has taken the photographs that he needs for his investigation. They're going to be loading the patient, and they're going to be transporting him to a funeral home. He will not be going to prom this year. Each vehicle had three occupants. That's 6 involved in one motor vehicle crash, and that's going to overload our resources. For those that are significantly wounded, we will call in aircrafts that have a nurse and a paramedic on board that will do everything they can to get them from this scene to a trauma center, in hopes of being able to preserve their life. The rescue is working feverishly to get inside of the white SUV. They're taking a saw and they're going to saw through that front windshield so that they can get a good cut on what we call the A-pillar, and likely the B-pillar. They'll either peel the roof back or they'll actually remove the whole roof and set it off to the side so they can effectively and safely get to the patient. When we have critically wounded patients like this, minutes, not seconds. So the sooner that we can get them extricated from the vehicle, the sooner that the paramedics can begin their life-saving treatment.
What? Got A post, B post. We got one more. No, you're right here. Release, good. There you go. Go with spread, then we'll put it the other way. Watch out. Spread going. Okay, so wait for got it.
The coroner's office has arrived on scene so that we can retain the body of the deceased. We're seeing a lot of activity right now because this is a crash scene that needs all of these resources to do what it is that we do. So we're going to have to investigate the collision or the car crash, but this is also a crime scene. You have a motor vehicle collision that's resulted in death. You have a driver that's been taken into custody under suspicion of operating a vehicle while intoxicated. So not only is this a crash scene, this is a crime scene.
That's good, we just need to loose. Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Might pull on the ground behind him.
We'll end up in the end. Get down over to the next guys.
Air evac should be here in just a few moments. As the helicopter begins to land, you're going to want to watch your eyes. Quite possibly debris is going to be picked up off of this concrete surface and it's going to be thrown around, so just watch when it gets close. The patient that was in the back of Medic 5 is being packaged for treatment and for transport. they're going to move them to the aircraft where they will be taken to a trauma center that can hopefully do what they need to do, and that's save lives. The reality is this. Perry County had 6 fatalities last year as a result of car crashes. And we live in a pretty safe community. I think we can all agree to that. But the reality of it is, 6 people lost their lives on Perry County roadways in 2023. The Perry County Sheriff's Office has already investigated 1 fatality for 2024 already. Now this is a tragic scene, but there are some strategies so that you can go to and from prom and to and from school and to and from the rest of your life after this scene safely. Here's the strategies. Wear your seatbelt. Don't depend on the airbag to save you. If you've noticed on the airbags, it says the letters SRS. It's a supplemental restraint system, meaning it's not the primary restraint system, it's a supplement. Airbags will work as long as you're seatbelted. And it goes for passengers and drivers. So wear your seatbelt. Number 2, don't drink and drive. It's real simple, don't drink and drive. Don't use prescription medicine and drive. Even if it's prescribed to you, take the time to look to see if there's a warning label. If it says you shouldn't operate a vehicle or machinery, you shouldn't operate a vehicle or machinery. Marijuana THC carries the same penalties as drunk driving. We think that drunk driving a lot of times is just alcohol, but it involves much more than that. It's controlled substances. Like THC vape pens. And if we talk with Officer Hauser, he's been working his next day to be able to tell us this driver was under the influence of THC. So number 2, don't drink and drive. Don't take prescription medicine that you shouldn't be taking and drive. Leave THC and marijuana driving. Number 2. Distracted driving. Put the phones down. Don't text and drive. Don't call and drive. If you need to make a phone call, if you need to answer that text message, if there's something pressing, pull over. Find a safe place to pull over. Distracting drive, that's probably one of our biggest issues that we're facing these days is distracted driving. Number 4, reduce your speed. If you're one that likes to drive fast, if you got a lead foot, reduce your speed. There have been crashes that every officer that's here today have investigated that if the driver of one or both vehicles would have just slowed down a little bit, it wouldn't have resulted in a fatality. Plain and simple, these vehicles are heavy. And when they're traveling at a certain speed on certain roadways, and they come into collisions with something, it's just not going to work. So let's recap. I want you to have a safe phone call. And there's some strategies to be able to remain safe when you're driving. Wear your seatbelt. No operating while intoxicated. Reduce your distractions. Put the phone down. Reduce your speed. In a moment, Colin's going to speak with us. And after Colin gets done speaking with us, our elected prosecutor, Mrs. Sam Hurst, is here. And she's going to talk to you about this both being a crash investigation and a crime scene. Her job as the elected prosecutor is to take the findings from law enforcement and our investigations, and it is to prosecute these folks. The driver was taken into custody, and we're going to find out what his fate is in just a moment. Colin?
Is this working? Many of you know who I am and who Pickens family is, but I'm still gonna inform you all as to why I'm here right now. So, on the morning of Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, my younger sister Nora was crossing the crosswalk in front of our school. She was struck and run over by a truck. At the time, my other sister Belle, our friend Mars, another friend Alex, who was driving us to school as usual, and I were only a few blocks down the road heading to school. By the time we reached the intersection there, it was already a lot of activity preventing us from seeing anything more than a dented car, a purple backpack, and Nora's red hair. We are so lucky that Nora is still with us, and we're so thankful for every single person who helped support us in any way. And no person ever deserves to live with the outcome of both sides of an incident like this. Please be responsible and conscious and reasonable when you're about to drive or do anything for that matter. Listen to your peers if they give you any good and caring advice, and thank you all for listening. Please think before you act, and I will now read a poem. Give it to me to read. I went to a party, Mom. I remember what you said. You told me not to drink, Mom. So I drank a soda instead. I felt really proud inside, Mom. The way you said I would. I didn't drink and drive, Mom, even though the others said I should. I know I did the right thing, Mom. You were always right. Now the party's finally over. Everyone is driving out of sight. As I got in my car, Mom, I knew I'd get home in one piece. Because the way you raised me, Mom, so responsible and sweet. I started to drive away, Mom. As I pulled onto the road, the other car came at me. The other car didn't see me. Mom, it hit me like a load. As I lie on the pavement, I hear the policeman say, "The other guy was drunk, Mom, and I am now the one who will pay." I'm lying here, Mom. I wish you'd get here soon. How could this happen to me, Mom? My life burst like a balloon. There's blood all around people. Most of it's mine. I hear the paramedics say, I'll be dead in a short time. I just want to tell you, Mom, I swear I didn't drink. It was the others, Mom. The others didn't think. He didn't know where I was going, Mom. He probably was at the same party I was. The only difference, Mom, is he drank and I will die. Why do people drink, Mom? It can ruin your life. I'm feeling sharp pains now, Mom. Pains like a knife. The guy who hit me is walking, Mom. I don't think it's fair. I'm lying here dying, Mom, but all they can do is stare. Tell my brother not to cry, Mom. Tell Daddy to be brave. And when I go to heaven, write Daddy's little girl on my grave. Someone should have told me that, Mom, not to drink and drive. If only I had taken the time, Mom, I would still be alive. My breath is getting shorter, Mom. I'm becoming very scared. Please don't cry for me, Mom, because when I needed you, you were always there. I have one last question, Mom, before I say goodbye. I didn't ever drink, Mom, so why am I to die? This is the end, Mom. I wish I could look you in the eye. I say these final words, Mom. I love you, and goodbye. I thank you all.
It's my pleasure to introduce our Perry County elected prosecutor, Mrs. Samantha Harris.
Alright, so I hope that I never meet any of you in a professional capacity, either as a defendant or a victim. You can, sorry, you can do a couple of things to help prevent something like this from happening. And on top of this being very tragic and the emotional and physical scars that something like this would leave, there's also the criminal aspect of it, which is where my office comes in. The driver of this vehicle would be facing a level 4 felony. That is 2 to 12 years in prison. Okay? 2 to 12 years for this. A lot of you might be saying to yourself, but I'm not 18 yet, I'm 17, I'm 16. You can still be charged as an adult. Okay? That is a way for you to not destroy your life, the life of your friends and your family by drinking and driving. And like you said, that also includes your THC vapes and your prescription medications. And you mix those, THC, alcohol, prescription medication, and then you were talking about a very, very tragic accident waiting to happen. It doesn't have to be this bad though for you to get in trouble. Like you said, you can run into a guardrail. It can be a one vehicle accident. You can run into a guardrail. If your passengers get seriously injured or die, then you're still facing the same 2 to 12 years. On top of not drinking and driving, okay, in general, you're in high school, okay? You are not 21. You don't need to be drinking or using THC at all. If you are going to get in a vehicle with somebody, you need to make sure that that person hasn't been drinking, hasn't been taking prescription medications, hasn't been using THC. And you as their friend, whether you're close friends or not, should be telling that person, hey, how about I drive? How about somebody else drive? You can do that. And I know it may not feel cool, may not make you the most popular person, but it's worth it to prevent an accident. If you are at a party and somebody is drinking, somebody's using THC, somebody's taking pills, and something happens to them where you think that they have gone over and they're throwing up or they're unconscious, you need to call law enforcement and get an ambulance, okay? That person may need medical attention, and if you get them medical attention, they may survive, and if they don't get medical attention, they may die. I don't know if any of you use the THC pens, okay? I know some of you do, maybe not you guys here, but I get cases all the time from Tell City and Perry Central for THC vapes in the school. Those THC pens that you think are just marijuana may not be just marijuana. We're seeing them all over the state have other substances in them, such as fentanyl, which you can overdose on very easily. You will not get in trouble for calling law enforcement to help somebody who needs medical attention. You will not, okay? I know that that is usually the first thought that comes to a teenager or a young college kid's head, is that I can't call law enforcement, I can't call for an ambulance because the rest of us are gonna get in trouble, but that's not true, okay? I don't want any phone calls around prom, but I don't want any phone calls ever about an accident like this, okay? We currently have somebody sitting in our jail who is facing a level 3 felony because he hit somebody on 37 on a scooter while he was drunk driving. And he has a level 3 felony because he left. He left the scene of the accident. He didn't call for help. So if you hit somebody while you were drinking and driving and you decide, I'm gonna get out of here, maybe they won't know it's me, your penalties go up. He's facing 16 years in prison because he hit somebody and he left, and that person died. All of you have a responsibility every time you get behind the wheel to pay attention as you are driving. Texting and driving can be just as dangerous as drinking and driving. Checking Instagram. Heaven forbid any of you play games on your phone while you're driving. Okay? It has happened. Okay? So all of you, please, not just on prom night, but every night, if you're out, please do not drink. Please don't use THC pens. Definitely don't do them together and drive. I hope you guys have a fun and safe prom.
We want to thank you for your attention. You were a great audience. Give yourself a round of applause. Make some noise for prom. Yeah, I'm just excited for prom. Yeah. We hope you have a fun and safe prom. And again, just to reiterate what Sam says, if someone needs help, reach out to us. That's what we're there for. We're here to help. All right? Take care of one another. Enjoy prom.